Hey guys, so I'm sorry you guys haven't seen a lot of videos from me. I have this person on my YouTube, and I'm sorry I forget your username. I'm going to have to check, but they're pretty much saying like I haven't heard from you in like a month. Like, I'm sorry. I've been sick for the last I've been sick for like pretty much the last month. I was in the hospital, a bunch of other stuff, and okay, so Keeper of Memories is who commented, who they haven't seen from me for like a month, and like I said, I was in the hospital. I'm currently sick. I am not in school because I am sick, and yeah, but so I was in the hospital because I had a kidney infection and I had a massive staph infection in my kidney, and I was on 3 rounds of antibiotics and nothing worked. And finally they got it to work. Well, not my last time, but the time before, going to the, okay, so how about this? The last time I went in for my kidney infection, they did blood tests to see if anything had changed with my kidney, and one of those blood tests was a pregnancy test. And on my boyfriend's ex texted me video, Keeper of Memories, said, "Great story, lol, you might be pregnant, is that it?" That was not what I was going to say at all. The announcement I was going to bring up was I was possibly getting a job, but I didn't end up not getting the job at all, so I just didn't want to say anything before anything happened. But anyways, back to the hospital. So last time they gave me a blood test, and one of them was a pregnancy test, and I had about 14 blood tests that day, so I mean, I wasn't sure what all of them were for. And anytime you go in and they do blood tests, if you're a woman, they automatically do a pregnancy test anyways. So yeah, but so the doctor walked in and my mom was in the bathroom, and I'm sitting there like, "Oh hey, what's up?" He goes, "Interesting." I'm like, "Uh-oh, interesting, what's interesting? Like, am I dying?" And he's like, "Where's mom?" I'm like, "She's in the bathroom." He's like, "Okay." So he's standing out in the hallway waiting for my mom. My mom comes in and he sits down and goes, "So last time I saw you, you weren't pregnant." "Oh, okay. And you're pregnant." Wait, what? Like, my heart just kind of dropped for a second, and I looked over at my mom. Was my first instinct. I looked over at my mom and like, "I am so sorry." Like, I was freaking out, and not so much about the fact that I was pregnant. I can cope with that. I was just more afraid that my mom was going to be so disappointed in me and like hate me forever. So I just looked over at her. I'm like, "Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me." That's all I asked. The doctor goes, "Well, I'm gonna give you guys some time, and I'm gonna go run the other blood tests, but I just thought you should know this." I'm like, "Oh fuck." So 30 minutes passes by. My mom's doing nothing but this, and she looks up and goes, "You have some serious thinking to do." And she goes, "Well, what are you thinking about doing right now?" I'm like, "Well, I want a parent." She goes, "You don't think you understand, like, you're a teenager, this is gonna be the rest of your life." And I did understand, and I've pretty much vowed to myself that if I don't believe in abortions, I do believe in adoption if it's like something that you can't physically do, but at the same point, like, I feel that doing that kind of stuff is kind of just getting rid of a consequence that you made. Everything comes with consequences, and if you get rid of consequences, then you're not gonna learn. Does that make sense? But anyways, so found out I was pregnant, and then my mom just started making jokes about it. We actually went to Walmart because I was asking her for pickles before the doctor came in, because I'm like obsessed with pickles. I've always been obsessed with pickles. She goes, "Well, this explains your whole pickle thing." I'm like, "Mom, I've loved pickles forever." She goes, "I'm just kidding." So then we're in Walmart, and she's like, "Oh, I need tampons." I'm like, "That's probably a good idea." She goes, "Obviously not for you." I'm like, "Girl, what the fuck?" So, yeah. But then 2 weeks ago. It was a Friday, and the Thursday night before my boyfriend had left, and I went to go use the bathroom before I went to bed, and I was bleeding. So I just thought it was spotting, and I was kind of freaking out. I was worrying, but my mom didn't get home till midnight, and I decided I was going to go to bed and bring it up to her in the morning. And on Fridays we have a late start here, so I went into my mom, and she was sitting there picking up clothing so she could go to work, and I'm like, hey mom, I'm bleeding. I'm like, I don't know if it's just spotting. It was just a little bit, so I was like, I don't know if it's spotting, I don't know if it's a miscarriage, and I'd been told if I experience any bleeding to go to the hospital. So she goes, go to school and ask your nurse, because I don't know anything. I never bled in any of my pregnancies. She goes, so go ask the nurse what I should do. So I asked the nurse, and the nurse is just like, why are you here? Like, you shouldn't be here. So I automatically got sent home pretty much the second I went into school, and I went to the hospital, and I kept trying to call my boyfriend, who is the baby daddy, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to the hospital, and I'm like trying to get a hold of him, and he doesn't have an actual cell phone. He has like a Wi-Fi phone, and I can only contact him on Facebook Messenger, and the school Wi-Fi doesn't work for that. I mean, it kind of does, but it's like really choppy, so he called me, I'd answer, and then we couldn't talk. So I'm like, hey, just call me on Trevor's phone, and he eventually did, and I was in the hospital. We had no cell reception in there, so he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm in the hospital, like, I'm possibly having a miscarriage, and he's just like, oh shit, like, no. He's like freaking out about it, and anyways, the doctor comes in, goes, well, your levels are rising, everything is normal, I got an ultrasound, I got to see the baby, and he's like, the only thing that's concerning is the heartbeat is a little low. And he goes, but that just could be that you're 6 weeks. He's like, so, you're not that far along, whatever. So I wasn't worried about it, and I ended up going for food, and went home. My mom went back to work. I fell asleep. I woke up around like 4ish, and my baby daddy came over, and we were just sitting here, and then all of a sudden I'm in excruciating pain. I'm screaming. I go to the bathroom, and there's so much blood everywhere, and I'm freaking out, and my boyfriend's freaking out, so he calls my mom and goes, you need to come home, she's bleeding, she's screaming, like something's not right. So my mom comes home, takes my brother, and my other brother was at his friend's house at the time, so takes my brother, takes me, my baby daddy, we go to the hospital. We get a different doctor this time, and he ran the blood tests, and he goes, okay, so I'm looking at your thing from this morning, and the heartbeat of the baby was supposed to be between 140 and 160, and it was at 90. So right there, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? So I was told that it was just a little under, but that's like 60, 70 beats too low, and that's not healthy. And then he goes, and where you're at right now, we're expecting your levels to double every 48 hours. He goes, your levels dropped. I'm like, what? He's like, with your bleeding and everything else, he goes, this is a guaranteed miscarriage. He goes, I'm sorry. And I just didn't know what to say. My mom started crying, and that was that. I came home, and my boyfriend stayed the night, and he just cried. It was something horrible, and I don't want anyone to ever have to experience that, but sadly it does happen, and it's just something that it fucks you up. And yeah, so I'm sorry for not posting, but like I said, I was in the hospital, and I'm currently sick today, and I'm making a video, and my head is killing me right now. But so that's where I've been, that's what's happened. I'm still together with my boyfriend, in case if that was any of you were gonna ask. I've had a lot of people ask me, are you going to try again? We never tried to begin with, so I guess if that's your answer, we're not trying to have a baby. It just kind of happened, and that's where we're at with that. If it happens, it happens, but we did use protection and everything else, so if you guys are going to start criticizing me about unprotected sex, I promise you I had unprotected sex. Thank you very much. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna see some weird ass comments in the comments. I probably already know this, but yeah, thanks. Bye.